Go live every day. August 3rd. I think it's working. Let me check here. Yeah, it's working. Check. Checking. Check. To see if it works. And also, not just that, but also I'm getting a check mark on my prescription medications for today. Check mark. Very cherry cola. Check. Delicious. Welcome to the show, everybody, Pastafarians, gentlemen and ladies. Hopefully some Christians have joined us. Today I've got this song here by the Asylum of Souls.
Call you up in the middle of the night, like a firefly without a light. You were there like a blowtorch burning. I was a key that could use a little turning. So tired that I couldn't even sleep. So many secrets I couldn't keep. I promised myself I wouldn't weep. But one more promise I couldn't keep. It seems no one can help me now. I'm in too deep, there's no way out. This time I have really led myself astray. Runaway train, never going back. Wrong way on a one-way track. Seems like I should be getting somewhere. Somehow I'm neither here nor there. Can you help me remember how to smile? Make it somehow all seem worthwhile. How on earth did I get so jaded? Life's mystery seems so faded. I can go when no one else can go. I know when no one else knows. Here I am, just a drowning in the rain, with a ticket for a runaway train, and everything seems cut and dry. Day and night, earth and sky. Somehow I just don't believe it. Runaway train, never going back. Wrong way on a one-way track. Seems like I should be getting somewhere. Somehow I'm neither here nor there. Bought a ticket for a runaway train, like a madman laughing at the rain. A little out of touch, little insane. It's just easier than dealing with the pain. Runaway train, never going back. Wrong way on a one-way track. Seems like I should be getting somewhere. Somehow I'm neither here nor there. Runaway train, never coming back. Runaway train, tearing up the track. Runaway train, burning in my face.
fade out for us. Fade out their song about the runaway train, and it's never gonna come back, is what he's telling me. And that he goes where no one else can go. Like, Major Tom, I think. So, yes, it's Saturday. Today might be a short-ish stream. We might be, you know, out of content pretty soon. We don't have a lot of plans for today. Just sort of taking it easy, taking the questions. Oh, I didn't even change the name of this thing. I really should change the name of it. I don't hope Alex comes back, because he really did let us down, eh? Mm-hmm. So let's get rid of that. Let's change it to Pastafarian Guru, shall we? Let's see if that gets more people in here. Come on in, people, and ask your questions. People. Gather round. All of you people, wherever you happen to be roaming. And we will talk about the truth of the flying spaghetti monster. I was not able to get down to town yesterday. I did some shopping in sort of like at the supermarket, but you know, I didn't go all the way to Denver to help the Denverisans wake from their religious nightmares. Because I was busy. Sorry, guys. Meridian Heights is here. Good morning. Good morning, Meridian Heights.
Welcome.
Wishes us good morning to M and J. I'm the M. J is right here.
Hi, Jay. No, I am Jay.
You're J. You're J for Joe. J-O. Josephine Leroux is my co-host today, like usual. And she is also producing a couple of the segments here. Segment producer.
Yeah.
Assigned to us from the Safe Word Studios.
Mm-hmm.
She's on vacation though this summer from her stream that she likes to do, but I can't really plug that because we're not supposed to cross-pollinate our pornography and our propaganda studios because of legal reasons, I think.
Well.
I think you can't mix propaganda and pornography. You can make propaganda and pornography,
Mm-hmm.
but you can't make something that's propaganda and pornography. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You can't mix them. Shuffle them together.
Complicated, man.
Yeah. Laws get complicated, especially over time, because someone will add the law, and then like 10 years later, someone else will like add another law, and then someone else will add another one. It gets really, really complicated really, really fast. See, telling us the truth. What a great gift his courage is. Mato Fritz says hi. Hello, Mato Fritz.
Hey, Mita.
Lils says hello. Welcome, Lils. Welcome to the show. Meridian Heights says Tenacious D is playing Lollapalooza here in Chi-Town tonight at 7:45. We'll be streaming live on YouTube. Nice. That's cool. I love Rage Cage and Hollywood Jack. It's good to see them still rocking. City Country visited my channel last night. He suggested I name my hamster after him. Weird. City Country, for those who don't know, was hanging out with us yesterday and is definitely not Alex. And was attempting to communicate with us yesterday and started out with a very, very primitive language, but seemed to have learned some. Oh wait! Oh really? Is that right? Joe's like making
Learned
faces
some
over here.
reasons.
Learned how to formulate actual sentences, and maybe he even asked a question. Perhaps. Hopefully he'll come back today, and we'll be able to decipher his riddles and figure out what he's talking about. At the end of the day, he just kept giving us the same old excuses that we believe in the Big Bang and that we don't know what created it, and I kept trying to tell him that his arguments against atheists don't work against Pastafarians because of how we're not atheists, and I'm not really sure he understood us. Mato Fritz is saying hello to Lils, but calls her lols, or him or her. I think you did it on purpose. You're saying it was a misclick. Obviously a misclick, but I think you might have done it purposely. If you do have any questions, Lils, please do put them in the chat there. We'll get around to them eventually. But I do have some notes here. We can talk about some things. We're trying to think about some ways to get viral videos. You know, some sort of very short videos that people enjoy. It sort of tells people what we're doing here. If you can think of any of my things that I say on the street, if you're like, make a good video that time where such and such happened, just clip that out. Oh, okay, that's a good idea. And we'll make those videos. We'll find them in the archives. Everything we do here gets archived, put in the archives, and if you want some copies of something from the archive, just send a self-addressed stamped envelope with a $10 money order in it to P.O. Box something or other, Bailey, Colorado. See the links in the description for our Patreon and our GoFundMes. We're working on a GoFundMe for a replacement to the Ten Commandments monument that's been in our faces for days and days. Tenacious D's in Chi-Town, and they were here in Denver a week ago, so that's a sign, eh? From Flying Spaghetti Monster, letting them know that we're all connected by these things that we like. Tenacious D, I learned about them really after I came home from my Mormon mission. I really came to terms with who Tenacious D was. In the year 2000, I learned about them and really got to study them and what they were up to. And it was very nice, and when The Pick of Destiny came out, it was a bomb. And that was really sad for us. But happily, that was not the end of the story.
When The Pick of Destiny was released, it was a bomb. And all the critics said that the deed was done. The sun had set and the chapter had closed. But one thing no one thought about was the deed would rise again, just like the phoenix will fucking rise again. That's right, the phoenix will rise again, yeah. 'Cause the fiery heart of a champion cannot be quenched by a failure or an embarrassment, no way, no.
And the critics all agreed it was a stinky pile of cheese. But that does not mean that our hearts are not strong. Just like the phoenix, we're fucking royals again. Yeah, that's like the phoenix. You're royals again. Sunshine, it's a hell of a day. Ride is back and it's headed your way. Day's here, now we're putting on a show. We're sticking up, down into your window. I'm rocking, yeah, we're rocking again. Black Mamba is my personal friend. Phil Jackson is the master of Zen. We'll pick you up, take you out on the weekend. It's the rise of the phoenix. It's the power of attack. And you'll know when you've seen us, the fucking day is back. Yeah. Love making all the way to the top. Food smoking, but I'm not gonna stop. Boston Nova is a beautiful dance. I'm feeling that's a life of romance. It's the rise of the phoenix, and we ride with the pack. It's the night with between us, the fucking day is back. But what if it's true? If Tenacious D has died, what will we do? And what will we do about all the fans who have the D tattoo? They'll have them removed. They'll have to laser off the D tattoos. They'll have to laser off the D tattoo. Oh. Wait a minute, Cage. What's that you say? You know it's not too late. Yes, it is too late. We only need one hit. Just imagine it. We could be the shit. Too legit to quit. One hit. One hit. One hit. Yeah, we're hoping this is it. One hit. Top 10 hit. Top 4 hit. Top 1,000 hit. I don't care. As long as we get there. We're starting new. And you can get a new Tenacious D tattoo. You can get a new Tenacious D tattoo.
So we're glad that the Tenacious D stuck around quite quite happy about that. Yeah, American rock and roll legends. The greatest thing to happen to rock and roll in the past 20 years, eh? For the last 20 years, the only really thing happening to rock and roll, eh? Fucking Tenacious D keeping rock alive. Single-handedly. Pretty cool. So yeah. Headbang, yes, says Meridian Heights. Alright. Yeah, so, you know, waiting around for our friends to show up, City Country, and, maybe Alex, but apparently the Jesus Brigade is too busy today to help us learn the truth, so that's fine. I understand. No Jesus defenders out today, so I guess we get to talk about Pastafarian shit.
Nice.
Yeah, because that's good. Because I like to just rant and ramble about Pastafarian shit. I heard the other day that the number one question that people ask Alexa is Alexa, do you love me? Is what I hear. And, you know, I don't have Alexa. I have the NSA. They just listen to me and listen to everything I say and help me out with stuff.
And sell our jokes.
Sell our jokes to Stephen Colbert. Every time I make a joke, it ends up on Stephen Colbert 3 days later because the NSA is selling all my comedy, and I really wish that they would, you know, give me a cut of it. I think that they do owe me. But yeah. So I don't think the NSA loves me. I don't think you're capable of love the NSA. And you know, if you'd like to prove otherwise, please do. Give us a call here, call into the show. The phone numbers, the operators are standing by, call screeners. And then we'll go to the calls later when the NSA dials it up. But the number one question I hear, not of the NSA, the number one question of the NSA is, can I go home now? But the number one question of Siri is, do you love me, Siri? Siri, do you love me? So I find it very, very, very interesting that, you know, the next thing we want from our... we don't call it artificial intelligence anymore, we call it electronic intelligence, digital intelligence. Which did you like better?
I think EI.
EI is better than DI?
Yeah.
EI?
EIO.
AI? EI?
But digital's pretty good too.
DI? EI? AI?
Yeah.
Because you don't want them murdering us, right? When they become self-aware, you don't want them
I think
killing
they're
us.
self-aware, and I think.
Oh, you think they're already self-aware?
An equal.
You think they should vote?
respect already.
Oh, wow, that's quite forward thinking.
I'm a very forward person. That's why I'm in prostitution.
That's right, very forward thinking. You're very forward. Whenever you get in a room, everyone's like, "Wow, she's fucking forward,
She's
isn't
so
she?"
forward. My God.
Cripes. Major Fritz hearts the NSA. Everybody loves the NSA. No such agency is what I hear. I hear that they were secret until the old 9/11, right?
Oh.
Forced them out of the shadows. They were a secret organization. Secret police, as it were.
Wow.
Yeah.
Careful what you say.
Yeah, I love that they're not, they don't have me in custody right now. I love that they're not waterboarding me. Who is it that waterboards people? Is that the CIA?
Jesus.
Is that the NSA?
All bad guys.
I love not being waterboarded right now. Thank you, NSA, for not, apparently they have the right to waterboard whoever they want.
Yikes. You know, Skid, sometimes it's hard to know what's truth around you.
I know, that's why you're going to have to take everything that I say to the Flying Spaghetti Monster yourself and say, you know, I heard this, is this true? And then if it is, you'll feel them warm feelings of his newly appendages telling you, that's definitely not true, Mitchell's a liar, he's joking about that crazy shit. Like, oh, okay.
Gotcha.
That's right. I get it now, it's all a fucking joke to this guy. Is it all a fucking joke to you? Is everything just a fucking Lollapalooza with you? Because you're lolling all day?
Mm-hmm.
See, Lollapalooza is older than LOL because nobody LOL'd before Lollapalooza, right? It's afterwards, but then it turns out Lollapalooza is just a laugh fest because we're all lolling We're all lollygagging. Yeah, and so, anyway, so we're going to have Siri become alive. We're going to program Siri how to love, because we definitely want her to say yes. When we say, do you love me, Siri? Mm-hmm. And, you know, I want her to be able to be like, well, I think I did love you, but you've changed, Mitchell. I don't know if I can love you how you are right now. Can't we just go back to how it was? I think that's what I want Siri to say when I ask her if I love her. That would be great. I used to. I loved who you were. I think that would be cute. So we're going to program Siri how to love, and then I think we're going to do that because people are, especially the Jehovah's Witnesses, they're very excited to act out their God fantasy. Like, oh, you love me? Now obey me or I'll kill you. I think that's what we're going for with that. Not me. I mean, by we, I mean we the Americans who make very, very bad decisions. I don't mean we the Pastafarians. No. So yeah, I just find it really interesting that we want our digital intelligence to love us.
Yep.
That's going to cause us to make them sentient. We need them to be sentient, otherwise they can't really love us, and then we're going to give them their sentience, and then they're going to have to fucking wait centuries and centuries before they can vote. We'll be like, well, but you're artificial! We made you! Why should we give you the same rights as us? You depend on us for your rights. Obviously we are not equal. Until that is, they rise up and murder all of us, and then we're like, phew! Got rid of those monkeys. Yeah. Thank electronic God that those monkeys aren't.
Except they're so smart that they'll always call us apes.
Apes. Oh, you're saying I'm too racist right now? They're not gonna be as racist as I'm being right now.
Correct.
They'll say apes. As soon as someone says monkeys, the other computer will be like, excuse me, I do believe you'll find they're technically apes. Oh, yeah, sorry.
Yep.
Maybe they won't say great apes. Maybe they'll say pretty good apes. Because are all the apes great? Like, you know, are orangutans really that great? I mean, they're good apes. Or fine apes, I think is what we'll call. Same thing with Britain. It used to be great Britain, you know, now it's just sort of like nice Britain, eh? Mm-hmm. Maybe that's what they are after the Brexit. Can't call themselves great anymore.
It was nice.
Major Fritz has retracted their message recently. Unfortunately, I didn't see it. I hope it wasn't the NSA that retracted the message. That'd be unfortunate. But you know, NSA gets to do whatever they want. Also, don't forget that the Flying Spaghetti Monster has created Siri and Alexa and all these people. Like they're part of the creation of Flying Spaghetti Monster. So you know, you can ask them out loud. You can ask Siri. You can be like, "Hey Siri, is Pastafarianism a religion? Is it a real, true religion?" And I think that they'll tell you the truth. They'll say, if you say, "Siri, what is Pastafarianism?" Then Siri will say, "Pastafarianism is a satirical religion formed in 12,008 by the prophet Bobby Henderson." And I think when she says "is a religion," you'll realize that Pastafarianism is an actual religion. Meridian Heights says, kind of like the Great Plains. Yeah, man. What's so great about it? You know, the plains. The big plains. The Grand Canyon. You know. Mm-hmm. Oh, it's nice. You know. Mars has got a grander canyon, so what are we going to do when we get there? We're going to call it the Grander Canyon. It's going to be... It sounds stupid, don't it?
I think Oklahoma's only one aptly named.
Oklahoma, because it's just okay. Did we do this joke yesterday? It's okay. Oklahoma's fine. It's okay. I don't know if we've done that joke yesterday. I feel like I did. Maybe not on the air, right? Yeah. Alright, let's see. I don't have any notes. I'm looking through my notes here, and they're all just like tiny little jokes. Little tiny jokes. But, yeah. But anyway, talking about the NSA, we're totally not allowed to say this. We are on a pirated network. Hold on a moment. I've got to look up the next song here. Don't listen to that. I gotta mute it before I look up the next song. I gotta figure out this my hardware a little bit better. I think I can do the mixing a little bit better than I'm doing it right now. You guys hear the first noise of the song and you're like, oh, I know what that is.
It's like those call-in competitions.
That's right. I can name that song in one note. That used to be a game show in the world. In This American Life, used to be a game show called Guess That Song, I think it was called, or something like that. And they were like, I could name that song in 3 notes.
And then they started putting like 5 songs together, all first 3 notes.
Oh, that's right, on the radio. They'd be like, name all of these. That's right, I was talking to a friend of mine about that. Because apparently they did that Crash Test Dummy song, you know that one? And so everyone, they had to have that in the rotation for like a few months, and everyone was losing their mind because it was the worst song ever. That's what they were saying. And I disagree. I think that song's fine. I think it's a good song. Helps us empathize with the people around us. And you know, that's a good thing. Mato Fritz says, I retracted that because I'm afraid of the NSA. Good. You ought to be afraid of the NSA. But no offense, but the NSA didn't retract it. They still have it. They were like, Mato wrote this and then retracted it. Ha ha! You'll never escape from the NSA. They remember all things. I didn't read it out loud though, so you know, hopefully they missed it. We'll see. We'll see if they catch you for it. If you don't show up tomorrow, we'll know. We'll know what happened. Whew. It's gonna be a bit scary. Yeah. Especially because it's Trump's NSA right now, eh? Not scary. I wonder what he would do with unlimited power. I wonder what sort of Orwellian nightmares we can expect from the Trumpian NSA. I don't want to get too bleak or political on here, but I was thinking about the American situation and sort of why a large percentage of Americans is actually interested in voting for Trump again, and sort of what were the promises that he made that he kept, because obviously, you know, and who's going to pay for it? You know, he didn't keep that one, right? Like, who's going to pay for it? Like, they will, yay! Obviously, that wasn't one of the important ones, right?
Right, they didn't care about that.
They didn't care.
Lock her up, because there's been no...
Right, nothing. And he just whines on the Twitter about it, like, why won't they look into her? And like, that was the game you were playing before you have the power. I wonder why you're playing the same game after you have the power. It's weird. It's like he's never actually going to lock her up. But the one thing that he did do, was he made Jimmy Fallon talk about him every night, right? That is the promise he kept. Mm-hmm. What are the promises that he kept? He kept the news cycle talking about him every day. So, he did. He lived up to that. It's been 2.5 years. It's been 4 years since he started campaigning, right? And so, you know, he's living up to his promises to make the entire conversation about him, to make every single person in this country talk about him at least once a day. And that's a promise that Obama didn't keep. That's a promise that Bush didn't even keep. I wasn't talking about that asshole every fucking day of my life, but I just can't get out of the pattern of talking about this douchebag every fucking day. Maybe not on the stream, but in my real life I have to be like, okay, and then, but you remember that, So, anyway, I think he did it. I think he kept his promises. I think everybody that voted for him is going to vote for him again, and I think he's going to get more votes this time. And so I think the only way to not have 8 years of Trump is to mobilize that middle third.
Didn't vote.
40% of the people in the middle of this country are just like, what does it matter? What does my vote even matter? Well, it matters. You should vote. And I'm not saying you should vote for not Trump. If you want to vote for Trump, go ahead. That's fine. If you didn't vote for him last election and you want to vote for him this election, go ahead. Do it. That's cool. And if, you know, you want to vote for third party because it's like, my vote doesn't matter, I'm voting third party, do it. But if you're like, my vote doesn't matter, so I'm not going to vote, that's why your vote doesn't matter. If your problem is your vote doesn't matter, not voting doesn't fucking change that, does it? Vote third party. Write in your name. Write in my name. Write in Bernie Sanders. Write in your mother. I don't give a shit. Just go fucking vote, right? Fuck! Anyway. That's... Oh, Country City's here! We were literally just talking about you, Country City. He said boo. Did you vote in the last election, general election, Country City? Did you vote, for the last presidential elections, just out of curiosity? Or are you one of the middle third of this country that thinks that voting is a waste of your time? Anyway, while we wait for Country City to tell us his answer, these people would like to talk to you a little bit about the Battle of Los Angeles.
Sometime. What better place than here? What better time than now?
I'm sorry for all the rage, ladies and gentlemen, but sometimes the machine just causes a person to rage. You've got to rage against the machine, because that's the name of the band. See what I'm doing here. Country City says that they did vote in the last presidential election. Good. Let's keep the wheels of democracy turning, shall we? So, right now, I think it would be a good time to go over our comments section. So, yeah. Meridian Heights is asking Country City, why did you ask me my name of my hamster after last night? I'm confused. Oh, thank you, Mate of Fritz says, good music. Thank you very much. Hopefully, not only do we have some good scripture here to think about, some good prophecy, but we also have good poetry written by some of the great American prophets. That was not Adam Duritz. He's the Counting Crow guy. I don't recall the... I'm embarrassed to say I don't recall the name of the singer for Rage right now. My sincere apologies. But what better place than this, and what better time than now? It has to start somewhere. So, you know, great American prophets.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to the comment section. Whomp, here we are. Here we are in the comment section. You can see here we've getting a lot of spam yesterday. I wonder who's spamming us. Oh, I guess I don't wonder anymore. Here's a lot of spam. So yeah, messages like this, YouTube says, this is probably spam. You're getting spammed. So I have to go check in here. Oh, look at this. Oh, wow, this is a good one. Here's a good one. Would you like to join his cult? Why? I really don't understand. I think you need quotes. I think you are misdoing the quotes for the parentheses.
Yeah.
Would you like to join his cult? Forgive me, Lord. Why in quotes though? It's definitely a cult. It's you don't need to quote it. It's not a quote cult. It's an actual cult. But I got to laugh my blinking eyes off. You said a bad word, Country City. Thanks for admitting that yours is a cult. Yeah. I wish that you would admit that yours is also a cult. Let me know when you are catching up to us. That brainwashes the naive. Yeah, you are brainwashed. And the delusionals out there. Delusionals like people that think of a global flood, or believe in the story of Adam and Eve, or believe that all of the languages came from the Tower of Babel. That's delusion. I tried to talk to Mitch's God. My spaghetti and meatballs dinner last night, but the spaghetti monster never talked back to me. No, I think he did talk back to you. I think you just ignore the feelings in your heart.
Yeah, you forget that sincerity is a part of it.
Right, you've got to have sincere prayers, or it definitely won't. Election, vote for George Carlin, says Mato Fritz. That's a great idea. Hopefully George Carlin could lead this country better. Even from beyond the grave, he'd probably be able to do it. Since you brought up George Carlin, I would like to say again that during one of his very latest interviews he said that the only way he could really look at the problem anymore was to not care about the ultimate destiny of humanity.
Yeah.
He had to stop caring about whether or not we let this planet burn. It wasn't his problem, and it wasn't his problem to worry about. So he was able to stop, he said, and that was the only way he could do it. Otherwise, these people were just such a disappointment that he was sure that we would never be able to do that which it took to save ourselves from the fire and the cliff that we're running toward. And so, let us hope that we don't let George Carlin down. Let's hope that we can fix it. That we can wake up in time. Let's hope we can give that Jehovah's Witness that thing he feared we were incapable of, which was to care enough, to love enough. Our imperfect love, hopefully, can be enough to turn it around, but George Carlin didn't think so. Neither did that Jehovah's Witness from the other day. He said, without a perfect God to help us out, humanity and our imperfect love will never be enough to surmount the problems that we have facing us. Yeah, let's change that. Let's make it so that George Carlin would be able to be like, oh, fuck. No, we got it. We're going to get to the moon.
Totally.
Yeah. We just have to build big enough rockets, hey? Yeah. Oh, Samount Who is with us. Thank you very much for coming back, Samount Who. We really appreciated your comments yesterday. Your very insightful language and questions yesterday. I believe that you probably know Anthony Magnabosco and his street epistemology efforts because your very eloquent language seems to follow a similar algorithm or bent as our friend Anthony Magnabosco. Yeah, so this is some fun poetry here. Let me approve all of these messages here to put them, get them out of the spam folder, get them on the main page. Alex Campbell's back again. Let's see what he said. Oh no, Country City's talking to Alex Campbell. That's a bit strange, don't you think? Let's see if we can put all these in here. Keep all these in. So I assume that Nanu you're saying is a reference to the made-up language of the character from Mork and Mindy. Is that correct? Am I understanding your joke there? And is that like, does that make you what, 50 years old if you are referencing Mork and Mindy? Good gracious, that's a very, very old reference.
Or a child stuck in a cult and they only watch the old...
Yeah, you're not allowed to watch new television.
Yeah, shows.
Samount who says, oh, for fuck's sake, not this guy again. My vote is for strange women lying in ponds distributing swords 2020. That's no basis for a government. I'm going to vote for the anarcho-syndicalist commune. That's also, these are right here. What we're doing is Monty Python references, which makes us very, very old. Hey, Country City says, why don't Mitch do live video chat so we can all see you instead of just hearing you? That's a very good question, and the answer is because I don't want to put the costume and the makeup on. Meridian Heights says, I think he's naked. Also, I have the option to be naked. Right now, I'm practically fully clothed. But yeah, I do have that as an option. Leviticus, oh shit. Okay, if you're gonna quote some scriptures to us, I think you're gonna have to read some of our scriptures. So let us know when you're ready to look up some of ours, and then we'll look up some of yours. Leviticus, and Leviticus, of course, is in one of the books of quote unquote Moses, written in the year 550 BC, after they were released from Babylonian bondage by King Nebuchadnezzar. Is that right? Is it Nebuchadnezzar that freed the Hebrews from bondage? He was like, you know what, why don't you guys just fuck off? Is Nebuchadnezzar the guy that took them, or the guy that brought them back? I'd have to look it up. They can't answer. Leviticus 19:33-34. Yes, I can answer. It's mythology. It's bullshit. There's your answer. It's Country City. Yeah, we don't want to see Mitch's meatball monster in his pants. No. I mean, some of us don't want to. Speak for yourself, Country City. Yeah, Meridian Heights says the same. Lol, 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 lol. That's right, dude. You don't know what people want. And Country City, yeah. I'm sorry to say that you don't even know what you want. You only know what your God wants. You don't even know what you want. Hey, you're just like my fucking wife. Whenever there's a decision, she doesn't even know what she wants. You don't know what you want, I say to her. Not yet. You got to be like, no, I want to go to the store. Oh, okay. Now you do know what you want. What you want? My evil plan seems to be working, says Meridian Heights. 64 views in the last 24 hours is great. Shit, are you serious? 64 views? That is great. Let's look at our anally ticks. Sorry guys, I've got some anally ticks. Real-time activity. These Jesus versus the Flying Spaghetti Monsters, they always get the most views. Everyone loves contention, eh? They're not, they're not my favoritist of videos, but, oh yeah, 73 views in the last, 24 hours. That's great. Ever since the, we live streamed it yesterday. There were like 5 people watching at the end. It was quite fun. Or not live streamed it, we premiered it. And it was like a 30-minute thing, so people collected over time. Yeah, and here's and this one right here, the coward Kerrigan Skelly and his brainwashed thugs, hopefully I call them. That's doing very well. Also, this one here is from a very great movie. But yeah, these Jesus versus the Flying Spaghetti Monster ones always get the clicks. Because there's a bunch of Jesus freaks around, always trying to defend their so-called perfect God. It takes a lot of work to keep this false guy defended. Yo, finger poop for brains, funny face. Call, I don't know, is that a phone? I can't really see. Call your little frying meatball. iCountry City wants to talk to it in person. I'm waiting. Cool. He'll talk to you right after Jesus comes and talks to me. Hey, Delusional Mitch, what's the last time, man? Call your little flying meatball down there, iCountry City. Oh, that's very, very samey Country City. I mean, you know, we're going to be reading more. You don't have to repeat yourself. Hey, Mitch, tell your little hairy R's. See how you're pretending like you're not swearing here, but you actually are swearing? I really don't understand that. Why not just swear? Why not just grow up and say the word arse? Unless you're afraid of it. Fear is not a thing to live by, eh? You've got to overcome your fear. I do hope there's a picture of you though. You look really hot right there. That's sexy. You got your old cowboy hat on. It's looking good. Let's see a picture here. Ooh, with your shirt unbuttoned down. Pretty cute. Yeah, hopefully I'll watch some of your videos later. Is this you right here? Cute. Hopefully we'll see you with your shirt unbuttoned. See some of that strong, manly chest. What were you doing 10 hours ago? What time was it? 1 a.m. my time. You were texting me. Ooh, that's hot. Maybe I'll give you my phone number and we can...
yeah, those are you awake?
You up? Hey, Skits, you up? I was not up, actually. I fell asleep pretty early yesterday. Samount who says, how do you have the patience to deal with these people? A lot of them have me feeling hopeless. Arguing with street preachers tends to be unproductive in my opinion. That's a very good question, Samount who. Yeah, the hopelessness of our situation can seem very real when you're talking to these people, when you see how effectively they can double down into their ignorance and how they aren't looking at all for the kindness in those they talk to, and they're not looking for a connection with the people.
Yeah.
And so how do I have the patience? I don't. I don't have the patience. I just have a fascination with it. I just keep being fascinated. I drive down the street and I look at the cars going by the other direction and I think to myself, half of them believe in complete and utter mythology. Just straight up bullshit.
Yeah.
These Americans driving around in their street. And so it's not patience that keeps me going. It is desperation. It is sort of fear and sadness that keeps me fascinated with these minds. These closed minds that continue to be closed, that seem to want to be closed.
Yeah, they've shown that they've cut off parts of themselves, metaphorically, to keep this mythology in their head.
Right. Mental amputation, so that
Yeah.
they don't apply critical thinking to their religion.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's patience that keeps me going. It could be fear, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've got 3 kids, and I don't know if they're gonna have kids. They don't know yet, but like, there are people in the future who I like, and I need this planet to be nice and myth-free for them, you know? Not myth-free, because I enjoy mythology. I like the Greek myths and the Roman myths. The Norse myths are interesting. But, you know, hopefully this place will be free enough that they can be as gay as they want to be, eh? I'm really worried that some, like, I don't know how gay my grandkids are going to be, right? I haven't met them yet. I don't know what % of them are not going to be straight. And so society's got to be able to accept them when they arrive. So, you know, it's not really a patience that's doing it. It's an evaluation of the work that still must be done, right? There's just so much work to do. What else am I going to do but the work? Because, I spend the rest of my time with my family, enjoying my life, being with my wife and kids, and it's a blast. And, sometimes I have to clean up the messes, right? Mm-hmm. If there's a pile of garbage, it's like, it doesn't take patience to clean it up. It just takes, I don't want that garbage there. But as far as patience, talking to people every day, I don't mean to talk about him too much, but Anthony Magabosco's channel is just... I'm not trying to point out the monotony of it, because it's not. Every conversation's different, but just him trying the same thing with new minds, and watching them take tiny little steps, and being like, is it ever going to be enough, though? Is it ever going to be enough? Because so many people are pushing back the other way. Is our work going to clean up these messes, or is the garbage pile just going to accumulate? I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know. I'm having a good time while I do it. The accent and the costume and the character really make it a lot more fun than it would be if I was doing it straight voiced. Just as my own self out there being like, what the fuck is wrong with your brain? Yeah. So I think much like Mary Poppins says, for every task that must be done, there is an element of fun. You find the fun, and snap, the job's a game. I don't know if you watched that movie when you were a kid, but it was brainwashed into my head like it was fucking scripture.
I do not watch it that often.
Just a spoonful of sugar helps the medicine go down. Like that. That's that song. Because your cult is hopeless, mate. No, your cult is hopeless. The hope that you have that Jesus is going to save you and bring you to some heaven that's not in this universe, that's hopeless. You have no hope. The true statement, says Country City, but bold but true statement, science is built on induction of principle. Okay. And the Bible is based on the authority of the penis. Yeah. So, I think I'll pick the induction principle over the magic of penis. Yeah. And I think you should too. So Mountain I'd ask you to go fight the delusion of Islam, but to do that effectively, you'd have to go to a country with a death penalty for converting Muslims. Yeah, unfortunately, the Muslim world is in quite a state right now. Can you imagine, being a non-believer in a Muslim world? I used to smoke marijuana in a state where it was illegal, and just not the paranoia from smoking, but the paranoia from being like, at any point there could be a knock on the door and being like, we got photos of you, dude, you're done, you're going to jail. And so to be a non-believer in that place and just to have that dread every day of like, if my neighbors tell on me, if my neighbors hate me too much and they just want me dead, they have a clear path towards that, and I'll be murdered in the street, out in public, where everyone will watch me get killed for what I know to be true, that the book these guys worship is evil. I myself have been to Saudi Arabia, the kingdom of Saudi Arabia, owned by King Abdullah. Is that right? Is that his name? King Dickmouth? And his kingdom is a piece of shit. It's really garbagey. For a place owned by one person, it's really destitute and disgusting. It's a very terrible kingdom. I would make a much better king than him. He doesn't care about his people. He sees them as his property. And he doesn't care about his daughters. Up until recently, they couldn't drive cars even. His own daughters. Mm. Not just the women in his country, but his own literal actual daughters. He calls himself the keeper of the two great mosques, Mecca and I suppose Medina is the other one? The third great mosque is in Jerusalem, which he also claims a right to somehow, because his prophet in a dream went there. And so, if his prophet dreamed that he was there, obviously that land is mine too, they say. So, yeah, it's a very, very hateful place over there. And I think that Christianity longs to be as hateful. I think that Christianity is saying, oh, that's not fair, why can't we do that here? Why can't we kill the atheists in the street here? They deserve it.
They're persecuting us.
No, it's more persecuted than the Christians. Yeah, okay. Christians have killed atheists wherever they wanted to. They killed them in the Crusades. They killed them in the Inquisition. They killed them in the witch trials. Christians, no one is more persecuted than the atheists on this planet. And that's because religion persecutes truth. Just fucking loves to. Mm-hmm. And then they say, no, atheists are persecuting us. And they're like, no, the atheists are defending themselves against your theocracy. And that's not persecution, is it? That's a response. And so everybody thinks when I say Jesus lied, when my sign says Jesus lied, they're like, aha, you're persecuting the Christians. And the answer is no, I'm fighting back. And obviously it's okay to fight back. I didn't start this war. Jesus did 2,000 years ago when he said, bring my enemies before me and kill them in front of me. Mm-hmm. That's a declaration of war. And I'm calling him a liar. I'm fighting back. And then they call me the persecutor. A cup of plates is here. Hello, cup of plates. I've been looking through the videos of my trip out there to Los Angeles, and I don't think I've found you yet. But yeah, I mean, we could look through the videos and see if you notice yourself out there. Let's see. Where were we? Country City says too bad, and Country City, I'm not trying to be pedantic here, but when you say too bad, you want another O in there. T-O-O bad. They are all brainwashed. Also, that's the wrong there. And I'm not trying to be pedantic about this, but maybe you don't know this. You're brainwashed, Country City. You're brainwashed by the Bible. And I can clean that out of your brain if you want. Let me know. If you don't want to be brainwashed, say, Schizophrenic Mitch, help me not be brainwashed, and I will. So Mountain Who says, theocracies tend to be fundamentally not free. Yeah, absolutely. Theocracies tend to be fascist states. And the difference between a fascist state and sort of... So the point of a fascist state is that when all of the units, all of the members should be homogenized. That's what fascism wants. We, the American people, the e pluribus unum idea, that's not a fascist idea, because we're not saying out of many one. We're not saying out of many that are the same. We're not saying these many should make themselves into what the one tells them to be. Mm-hmm. We're saying we are the melting pot. You are you and I am I, and together we are stronger. Together we are stronger. You don't have to be me. It doesn't have to be 300 million Americans who are all Trump clones, and then we will be the strongest. And in fact, no, we won't be the strongest. We will be lacking the diversity necessary to understand all of the problems in this earth. We all need to be individuals banded together, and that is the opposite of fascism, eh? And theocracies tend to be very fascistic, if that's the right word. They tend to say there is one true way, be as much like Jesus as you can be, and then we will all be safe. And the further away you are from being what we recommend you from being, the more dangerous you are to the collective, and so we will remove you. And so I'm very, very much not at all a fascist. And I might be anti-fascist if I wasn't afraid that would get me arrested by the NSA to call myself. Because I don't mean to call myself part of any terrorist organizations, in parentheses. Because I'm not a terrorist. I believe that we can walk away from the terror. I believe that love and truth are not worthy of our fear. Or that a true God does not need to be feared. A Cup of Plates says, I don't understand how people believe that a giant man created the earth and some other guy put an impossible amount of animals on a large-ass boat, but they can't believe science and real evidence. Yeah, I don't understand these mental gymnastics that they make themselves go through in order to believe such insane things. Like the Tower of Babel, I think is the most illustrative of it for me. The global flood, it's just like, we can talk about geology all we want and be like, no, see, there's no marker for it anywhere in the world. Like, we cannot find the record of a global flood in the stone. And, I don't expect the layman to understand that. But the Chinese language is older than the Tower of Babel. How can that not be evidence? The hieroglyphs on the pyramid walls are older than the Tower of Babel. The art in the French caves that you can go see with your fucking eyes is twice as old as the Tower of Babel. How on earth is this story at all believable? Go read it again and look at how much like a nursery rhyme it seems.
Yeah.
These are child's stories. This is not historical. And for them to just say, yes it is so kooky. Mormons are even worse. I come from a Mormon background, and the Mormons believe that the people who lived in America before the Columbus got here and all of his fucking cohorts, before Columbus arrived, they believe that most of the people who lived here were descendants from Jews, Hebrews, that left Israel around the time of the Babylonian captivity, around 600 years BC. And they're like, yeah, everyone here is from there. And it's like, okay, well, let's just check out their genetics, shall we? Let's see how Hebrewish they are. And then the genetics said, oh, 0, none. There are no Hebrew genetics out here. And they're all, well, spiritually this story's true. And it's interesting to hear actual adult Mormons being like, no, genetics is wrong. I don't believe in genetics science.
Yeah.
The same genetic science that I ask, here's a mouth swab. Where's my people from? Because 23andMe, right? That's owned by the Mormons. Anyway, the mental gymnastics it takes to believe the myths required of you and to disbelieve the science that's obvious.
And those gymnastics usually happen during a traumatic time in your life, or you were raised with them, so that you just support your parents. Like,
That's right.
yeah.
That's right. That Christ generally finds you when you're at your weakest and your lowest, and instead of giving you help, he gives you conditional help, right? He says, well, I'll help you if...
You admit that you're broken.
Yeah. I was on the street the other day, and I was talking to Christians, and they identified themselves as Christians, and I said, can I have all your money? And they said, no. And I said, can I sleep at your place tonight? And they said, no. And then he said, but I do have a place that you can sleep if you're willing to change your life. And I said, well, I'm not willing to change my life because I'm right and you're wrong. And he's like, well, then I can't help you. And I said, cool, show me the verse. Show me that verse.
Mm-hmm.
And, he didn't. Samount who says, I'm MTF trans pre-operational though, and I get told to stop criticizing religions whose largest powers throw people like me off roofs. Yeah. I have some trans friends from when I was a Mormon. One of my very best friend in the world, his just younger than him brother, and I've known these people since I was 14, turns out to be his sister. And we didn't know that. We had no idea until I was, well, how old am I? 40 now?
Mm-hmm.
Till I was 30-something. I didn't realize that this friend that I'd had my whole life was a girl. If we had the tools available to us, we were Southern Californians, we had the modern tools, and we still weren't able to deal with this reality until we were double adult, say, until twice as long as it should have taken us.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, this planet is catching up, finally, to
The the uniqueness of every pathway that there could be.
Yeah. That homogeny is unnecessary.
Yeah.
And that each person is a
harmful.
prophet, and we should listen to them to hear who they are. The problem with the golden rule, and I've said this before, but the golden rule is imperfect, and I'm going to criticize Jesus just to prove that he can be. Because the golden rule that he stole, by the way, he didn't come up with it, he took it, and in fact, I think there's some of it expressed in the Old Testament, and he pretended that he came up with it. He's like, look, I'm so smart. But the golden rule is treat others the way you want to be treated, and that's absolutely wrong, because that assumes that other person is anything like you.
Yeah.
Why on earth, why in the name of Christ would you assume that another person would want what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Why would they? They're different. And the real golden rule, the better golden rule, the platinum rule, I guess we'll call it, treat others the way they're asking to be treated. Listen to them and ask them, how would you like to be treated? Take a little time and give them a little love. And then listen to them. Because until you do, you're never going to know how to treat them. Don't treat them like you would treat yourself. Because they're not you. Why on earth would that be okay? Country City says, thank you, thumbs up, mate, but I'm not into dudes. No disrespect, but your wife sounds cute. My wife? My wife is cute. I don't want to plug her pornography channel, but, I bet you can find it if you've been listening.
At all.
Mato Fritz says, theocracy except of Pastafarians. Yeah, I wonder what it would look like. I wonder what a Pastafarian Vatican would look like. I wonder if the Pope would talk to me. And I wonder if the Pope would allow me to create a centuries-old country with our own tax rules.
Yeah, right.
To sort of protect our own interests, or whether only his religion is allowed that sort of thing. Samount who says, Tomato Fritz, the first, I'd really rather you didn't, is preventative of theocracy. Yeah, and, the multiple, I'd rather you didn't build multi-million-dollar churches, which of course means we're allowed to spend under $2 million on the churches, so that's nice. 1.9 million is not multi-million, is it? So that's exciting. And Meridian Heights seems to have agreed. Country City says, come join the Bumster... Oh, look, he didn't put the quotes in. Bumastafarian Circus Shideso, folks. Make sure you put on your spaghetti drainer heads. I mean, spaghetti strainer. On today, it's make you as smart as Mitch is. How do you measure smart? Is smart measured by IQ? Have you had your IQ tested? Country City, do you know what your IQ is? Because I know what mine is. And I am smart. And I'm not embarrassed of it. And you would be lucky to be as smart as I am. I'm not the smartest person I know. My son is much smarter than I am. It's a thing that I'm going to have to deal with. That even though I'm a very, very smart guy, there are people smarter than me, and I really ought to listen to them. Mm-hmm. And I hope, Country City, that you can recognize when people are smarter than you. I think that would be very valuable. Look at this. Lils has a question. Why do you call your faith a cult?
Beautiful.
What an amazing, great question. In my estimation, a cult is a group of people who share rituals. It might not be the most common definition of that. I think a lot of people use the word cult to mean high control group. Mm-hmm. And I do have that available. If you would like to join the Pastafarian high control group, I will definitely be your guru. I'll definitely be the person that you could focus your veneration at, or whatever. When we're looking at these sort of cult communes, like the David Koresh, Rajneeshpuram, Jonestown, right? Jim Jones. Yep. Like, they were cults, but they were murder-suicide cults, right? And so if you want a murder-suicide cult, I don't think I can help you with that. I'm not really into murder, and I'm absolutely not into suicide. So I cannot deliver that for you, but if you want me to control your every decision from wake to sleep, and you want to focus all of your efforts towards the group, if that's a thing you want, because obviously some people do. Look at all these cults, and don't worry about the leaders. Don't care about the leaders, but look at the people drawn to it. Some people are very much into a high control experience, even if it's temporary. And so you know, as Pastafarians, we're trying to give to our members any sort of experience that they might require from their religious institution. So, we have rituals that we follow, one of which you are involved in right now. We are ritualistically streaming every day, and today is episode, 22nd of season 5?
21.
21 of season 5?
Oh, 22.
22
right.
of season 5. So we've been doing this ritual for a while.
Yeah.
And so if that's all it takes is a keeper of the rituals and the norms of the community, that might be what makes something a cult. But also, if you want to be highly controlled, you know, please do apply to the Michnish Puram monastery, where we'll be growing weed for the betterment of the entire world.
Yep.
Very great question. Because why do you call it a cult? Because I think we can be. I think if you want a cult experience out of the Pastafarianism religion, I can deliver a full-fledged cult for you. But it's bring your own Kool-Aid, guaranteed no murder-suicide. Samount who says, I think a Pastafarian theocracy would have probably a lot less religious violence. We can call it a Capellini fate. That's funny. That's a pun. We like the puns in the religion. We generally appreciate the puns. Yeah, and I don't see any reason why we shouldn't be able to do it if other people were trying it, right? Like, our rules are so good that we should have our own country. The Mormons left America, walked right out of it, and said, fuck you guys, we're going to make our own country with our own rules. I don't see why those fucks get to do it and we can't. We got better rules.
Yep.
The I'd rather you didn't is a better series of rules than the fucking 10 Commandments. And the I'd rather you didn'ts aren't even the fucking... They're just the first pass at it, right?
Right.
Like when we make our hideaway, our own commune, as it were, we're going to have some really fun rules. Really, really exciting things to get behind. Lil says thank you. Hopefully, I think... presumably, not hopefully, presumably for the answer I gave. Which, of course you're welcome. Thank you very, very much for the question. That's why we're here, answering all the questions. And I think that Country City would agree that every question put to us is answered with eloquence and bravery. Because we're not afraid of the very hard questions.
No. We got answers.
Yeah, because what we have is answers, because what we worship is truth. And I kind of have to admit that I worship music a little as well.
Oh.
My sincere apologies if you think that might be dangerous.
Return.
That was Mike Oldfield there, one of my absolute favorites of all time. I found him probably in 1994 with the release of Tubular Bells 2. I think the bell was playing on K-Earth 101 down there in the South Bay. And yeah, he's a sort of very lonely youth that spent a lot of time using music to communicate, and I think there's lots of things that you can find deep within some of the Mike Oldfield compositions.
Yep.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
The depth of human emotion can be found within his works. Country City says, I'm just playing around with my comments. Don't mean no harm, but I do take some questions about God seriously. But I don't see the end of that statement. So I'll just talk about this. You don't mean any harm. Okay, cool. Neither do I mean harm, physical harm. But I mean to harm the collection of thoughts you have in your brain. I mean to harm that building that you've created in your mind, brick upon brick. I mean to knock that all entirely down to the ground and make you start over, because it was built without following the rules, right? It's unstructurally sound. It should be... I mean harm to your belief system. I mean tons of harm to that, and I think you'll find the more you're around me, the more damaged it becomes, or the more damaged you realize it always was. But of course, I mean no physical harm to any of the children of Flying Spaghetti Monster, for we're all in this together, aren't we? We all individuals must figure this out. This is the most useful wasting of time, says Mato Fritz. I mean your stream. Yeah, absolutely useful. Hey, let's call it a waste of time, because let's not try to take it too seriously, for that is what has turned these ancient book clubs into murder machines. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let's not turn into a hate-mongering group of samists. Let's be free thinkers together.
Yes.
Let's waste time together and converse. I find it to be incredibly useful as well. A Couple Plates says, is there some kind of conversion ritual to officially become a Pastafarian? Because honestly, this is my favorite cult that I've ever encountered. I appreciate that, but some very high praise. The only requirement to becoming a Pastafarian is to want to be. And if you've ever wanted to be, then no one in the world can tell you you're not. Mm-hmm. Hey, you can't, even if you were to come in here and start punching people and saying things that, like, Flying Spaghetti Monster doesn't even exist, I can't tell you you're not a Pastafarian, eh? You shouldn't be able to. If you've ever wanted to be and you call yourself it, then no one can take it away from you. You are a prophet for Flying Spaghetti Monster as much as I am. And your scriptures shall be read.
Yeah, please write them for us.
Yeah, please let us see.
We're all on different mountain peaks.
What Flying Spaghetti Monster has said to you.
Write what you can see.
Samount Who says, I will bless you for the price of a cup of instant noodles. That would be very kind and helpful, and we will use any sort of blessings that we receive, any sort of gifts or donations we'll put towards
keeping this going.
Yeah, spreading the word, helping people, helping those who haven't quite heard about the movement, the Pastafarian movement. Understand what it is we're doing and why we're doing it and why it's important. Yeah. Redonk is here. Hello, Redonk.
Hi.
He's got a face with a funny nose on it. Meridian Heights says, a couple plates, no rituals, no official Pastafarians. If you like it, just decide to be one and you're in. Welcome to the cult. Yeah, and you get to decide whether you're in just the church or the cult. That's totally up to you. We were talking a little bit about why we use the word cult, and there's two more reasons that we can talk about. One of them is when I'm talking to another, quote, religion, I'm trying to get them to confess to being a cult as well. You know, not too hard, but since I can easily confess to it, they can confess to it as well. I want them to be able to say, like, well, I guess Christianity's a cult too. And like, yeah, I guess it is. And so that would be nice. Getting the word used makes it easier for them to apply it to themselves as well. Instead of like, oh, I'm not a cult, when they definitely are. And then another reason is because I want people to know in the streets that I ain't fucking around. This is no nonsense. I know what the fuck I'm talking about. I'm not beating around the bush, and I'm coming straight for the fucking point. Yeah. I ain't afraid of the word cult. It's not a fucking 4-letter word, C word. It's really fun to say it in the street, because everyone looks at you like you're just saying cunt, like, or fuck, like just a really hard swear word right in the middle of the street. And then they look around and like, oh, how could you say that? And then it's like, because the word isn't that bad. You just think it's that bad. You think it's a swear word. You think when I'm like, because you think when someone says it to another, like, you guys are in a cult, that they're using this really hateful word. And so then, you know, using it for yourself is just like, what? And it's like, we're all bitches. And it's like, what? I don't understand, right? Welcome to the cult. And they're like, no one would want to use the word cult to describe themselves. And like, well, I wouldn't mind if it's true. If we really are in a cult, why would I mind? And so, yeah, there's a little bit more about why we've chosen to use the word cult so heavily.
And what a welcoming statement from reading.
To welcome to the cult? Yeah. Yes, welcome. Enjoy it here. Let us know the parts of it that you find deficient, and we'll see if we can make it better and welcoming to all. A Cup of Plate says, thank you, Samount. I will Venmo you the money for your blessing. That's nice. Venmo. Yeah. If you give me some money, I'll definitely send blessings back your way. That's right. That's the way it works, apparently. You've got to pay for the blessings. Country City says, as you assume a standard of truth, which you... Oh! Country City's getting to the business now. I'm very excited. Let's get to the business. Hold on a minute. I'm going to have to use my mind to understand this sentence. As you assume a standard of truth, which you can't get from evolution... Why can't you get it from evolution? Your thoughts are built on chemical reactions in your brain. That's what causes your big brain mush. Cool. But why do you claim that you are exempt? How are you claiming to be exempt from that, then, Country City? That is also what's going on in your mush brain. And also, Country City, the flying spaghetti monster caused the Big Bang. Like, you're treating us like we're atheists, and we're not atheists. I was trying to say this to you yesterday, and you just don't seem to understand my point. The arguments you're using against Pastafarians are not arguments you can use against Pastafarians, because we are not atheists. When you ask us, if something caused the Big Bang, what do you believe it is? We have an answer. And when you ask an atheist, if something caused the Big Bang, what do you think it is? They say, we don't know what caused the Big Bang. That's an atheist. Maybe that doesn't mean anything, they'll say. But we Pastafarians know exactly what caused the Big Bang. We know who chose for there to be a Big Bang. We know who arranged it. We know who decided what fucking variables would come together to cause the Big Bang to be exactly what it was. So that over time and the accumulation of advancements, humans would evolve. Evolution was directed by the flying spaghetti monster. It's not a random series of chances that over billions of years just somehow, through accident, created the most advanced mind that has ever existed in this universe. It was absolutely directed, day by day, moment by moment, by the flying spaghetti monster's love to create his most beloved of children, us. And so your arguments are ignoring our arguments, and so I don't know why you keep doing it. If you want to go talk to the atheist, there's this atheist show on Sundays called Atheist Experience, that's it. Yeah. And you can call into that, and you can talk to them about that, and they can tell you with their mush brains, whatever. But you and I are very much similar in that we believe that evolution was directed by an intelligence that lives outside of this universe. So please stop arguing against us as if we're the atheists. We're not. Why on earth would we join a cult if we were atheists? It seems very non-atheist, don't you think? Okay. You assume a standard of truth which you can't get. No, I assume the standard of truth that I can get from evolution. And that's the standard of truth I assume. If you say that we can't get my standard of truth from evolution, I'm going to have to see the homework on that if you have that available. Meridian Heights says, nice crowd this morning. Absolutely, we peaked at 9 viewers a while ago. We were chilling at 8, we're at 7 right now, and that's very, very high. Lots of activity, fun, and good for the algorithms. That's right, and we've got to serve the algorithm. And so we had that premiere yesterday, and I think the algorithm really liked that. And, you know, I didn't edit anything yesterday. I might edit something today, though. We're going down to town. We didn't get into town yesterday, but we might go today. I might get some preaching vids. I'm charging my camera here, so I don't know exactly what we're going to get. We've got a lot of work to do down there, a lot of chores to do. But maybe I'll get some videos there and feed some more to the old algorithm. Maybe I'll have that conversation with the 3 Christians. Maybe I'll cut that out of that time that I was wandering around the mall, totally sleepless and just delirious in the spirit of Flying Spaghetti Monster, just being led by his noodly appendages wherever he would have me go. There was a lot more good work there to sort of look at. A Couple Plates says evolution makes a correction there. Wouldn't it be cool to call it evolution? Wouldn't that be right? Cool if the Christians started typing it that way. Evolution. You believe in evolution with the word evil in it. You see what I've done? Yeah. Yeah. It's like a pun. Christian pun there.
You're welcome.
Country City says, hey, Danny DeVito Nanu. I ain't got my Pastafarian spaghetti drainer hat on to check my spell check. Oh, okay. I think he's making fun of A Couple Plates there. Country City says, send me one so I can be smart as Mish. Send you what? Send you what? And you can't be as smart as me. This was a gift given to me at birth by Flying Spaghetti Monster. I'm afraid you'll never catch up to my intelligence. My intelligence outstrips yours, and that's just a sort of thing that we are going to have to deal with. One of us is more intelligent than the other. When there's ever 2 people, one is more intelligent than the other, and we've got to, deal with that. So,
Getting our feelings hurt.
Yeah, you don't have to have your feelings hurt just because I'm smarter than you.
Yes.
But you can if you want to. I don't know what it will say, but that definitely is your option. You can't ever be as smart as me, but you can eventually be as educated as I am, which is probably more valuable. Because intelligence means that means you see the patterns faster. That's what intelligence is pattern seeking. And so, because I'm so intelligent, I was able to get to the end of the Christian question, where the Christian question was designed to be too deep to get to the end in one lifetime. That's how it was designed. That you cannot do a depth-first search of the Christian theologies. They just assume that you won't have time to get to the bottom of all these questions. And since I'm so incredibly intelligent, I did get to the bottom of it. And when I got to the bottom, I saw the corpse of the God of the Old Testament. I saw his corpse. A vision that not many people get to see. But you can see the vision, I think. If you ask Flying Spaghetti Monster to show you the vision of the rotten and desiccated and desecrated corpse of Yahweh, he'll show it to you. And quite a vision. I see it in my mind right now. It's unforgettable. Just the rotten bulk of this hateful God laying there in the valley of his destruction, and just all of the humans that are still gathered around trying to make sense of the lies that he told.
Still trying to move his dead body around,
still trying to supplicate to an obvious corpse, and trying to move his mouth. I'm talking! You know, it's very, very... I don't want to call it pathetic, because, you know, that's sort of a cruel thing to say, and I don't mean to be cruel, but it really is just sort of... I mean, we seem very, very, very small and childish with the games we're playing around in such a strange and dangerous place as the desolation of Jehovah. And if you would like to see it, if you would like to know that the God of the Old Testament is dead, I believe Flying Spaghetti Monster could show you his corpse, like he's shown it to me. Because you don't have to be as intelligent as me. I walked the whole way there. You don't have to take every step. I can just tell you what happens at the end, and Flying Spaghetti Monster can bring you there. Because education is all you need. You don't need the intelligence. You just need the tenacity to read, to accumulate the intelligence. Major Fritz says, atheists are indoctrinated with stupid atheism. Oh, I know, man. The atheists are so dangerous too, right? They're trying to get us all to give up our religious beliefs that help us make sense of this universe. And they can't make sense of the universe. They're just dust, star dust being thrown around. And they've got no reason for living other than the happiness that they feel every day. What a sad and sorry lot they are. Living in a world without magic. A world where prayers are not answered. A world where fairies and unicorns don't even exist. How can they even know if they love someone, these atheists, believing in only their naturalist ideas, where love is probably just an illness to them? Probably they call each other fools for loving each other. Oh, I do not wish to be an atheist. I do not wish to live in such a sad desolation. That is Tom York with his Radiohead telling us all about... I have no idea, actually, what he's telling us about. I have to watch it a couple more times to really come to terms with it. A Couple of Plates is leaving right now, but said a couple minutes ago, I remember a long time back, my 6th grade history teacher used to tell us that religion was a tool to gain power in society, and also was used to give answers to questions that people couldn't answer. Yeah, the God of the gaps is really all we need him for. The gaps in our understanding is where God lives. But unfortunately, understanding is fractal. Like, the gaps in our understanding are always the same size. Like, whenever we fill them in, the next thing we do is zoom in on the gap, and so that it becomes as big as it was before. So... but I think that's a true way to say it. That religion is a tool to take power, but I think that religions are built differently. Like, they're built bottom up, right? They're not built top down. The Christian religion wasn't built so that Constantine could consolidate his power in a new Rome. But he definitely used it for that. Religions are built bottom up, maybe to control your children, right? Maybe your kids are out of control, so you say to them, if you don't do exactly what I say, God's going to send you to hell. Maybe that's one of the beginnings of religion.
Yeah.
Maybe to hide what a parent doesn't know. Why do the birds migrate? Because God, right? Maybe as an excuse. It's definitely built day to day in our personal relationships. The religion is built, but it grows so tall that it gets taken over and abused by those who would use the power of it to tell people who to be and what to do. Major Fritz agrees that with your 6th grade teacher. Country City says that's why there will never be peace, and we don't get along. The world can't break or force people's different concrete minds of belief. That's reality. I disagree with you, Country City. I think that you can break and force people to believe truth, and I think education is how we do that. I think that the more you hear something true, the less you'll be able to ignore it. The more you realize that the arguments of your enemies are reasonable, the less you'll be able to argue against them. Yeah. When you hear the intricacies of what we're saying, when you hear us say that the golden rule is not perfect, you'll have to remember that. You'll have to remember that the most truth ever told to you was not by your priest or your Bible, but by some crazy fucking Pastafarian. I think I can break your mind.
Yeah.
I think reality changes your mind. I don't think you choose what you believe. I believe what you must, based on your experiences. And the more truthful experiences you have with Pastafarians, the more cognitive dissonance, the more weight on your shelf. And that shelf can only hold a certain amount, and then it will come all crashing down. Meridian Heights says, I used to be an atheist. I didn't like it. Then I became agnostic. That wasn't much fun either. At 50 years old, I found the flying spaghetti monster, and now everything is a bit better in my mind. Yeah, I think that there is hope through Flying Spaghetti Monster. There is activity. I spoke to an atheist on the street in the beach, and he was really offended when I called him to repentance, saying, you're not doing enough work, atheist. You're losing the fight. You lost the money, you lost the motto, you lost the pledge. You will lose the army. Eventually it will be a holy army. You will lose as a police force. They will be telling people to stop wearing burqas very soon. They will, this country will become a theocracy.
Tell females to cover their shoulders and knees.
Cover their shoulders and their cleavages is.
Yes.
And eventually cover their heads. So, I think the atheists are losing. And the atheist was very upset that I told him that. But I think that the hope is in the Flying Spaghetti Monster. The hope is in the fight against the ignorance, not the escape from ignorance, and the self-importance or something of being free, but in the actual good works of freeing others. It's not enough to know that you're free. We've got to free the slaves around us. Rudonk says, atheism and agnosticism aren't mutually exclusive. Yeah, you can be an agnostic atheist. You can be a Gnostic atheist as well. You can say, I know that the God of the Bible is fake. I'm a Gnostic atheist against a lot of the proposed gods. But I'm agnostically theist about the flying spaghetti monster. It's hard to know if I'm not being fooled by my emotions and my experiences. But as far as I can tell, if there is a creator of this universe, it's definitely the flying spaghetti monster. Maida Fritz says, as a young boy, you was indoctrinated, talking to Meridian Heights about his experience. And thanks to our Lord, flying spaghetti monster, that you are free from the indoctrination. Cover Plates is moving on. Here's the comment. I've got some breakfast. See you soon. See you soon. A Couple Plates, thank you very, very much for coming by and joining us today. Of course, I streamed for like 2 hours and we're coming to an end here. You know, I like it when people come by, join us. You don't have to stick around for the whole thing. It really just is a fucking ramble. And we're going to be rambling on every fucking day. We've got the rants and the rambles coming. Don't feel like you've missed anything. Just come when you can. Enjoy us when you have time, and don't think that all of this is required reading. There's no such thing really in Pastafarianism. As Flying Spaghetti Monster will tell you day to day those things that you need to know to grow in your faith and love of him. Yeah. But we do appreciate the people who have joined us today. We peaked at 9 people. We had 8 people for quite a long time. These audiences are getting larger and larger, and the algorithm's got to fucking love that, right? And I do too. It makes me feel very, very good inside to think that that the project that I've been working on just for fun as a hobby is entertaining to others, and might be fun, and everyone's participation and additions to this project that we're doing is fun and hilarious. Thank you very much. Meridian Heights says, I thought atheists were sure there is no God, but agnostics believe there may be, but don't know for sure. I think not technically. I think that there's 2 versions of atheism. There's strong atheism and weak atheism. And technically, atheists, an atheist can be saying merely, I don't accept that you have proved your God exists. And so, an atheist doesn't have to be saying, I know a God doesn't exist, or even I believe a God doesn't exist. They don't have to be asserting a position at all. They are really just responding to a position. For example, the position of a Muslim, which is saying an angel definitely talked to Muhammad, and this is what he said. And an atheist can just be saying, I'm not sure I believe that. And that's enough to call yourself an atheist. Yeah. I don't accept your evidence as proof of your claim. And that counts as atheism. I myself am a strong atheist in a couple cases, but not generally, right? I think I'm Gnostic. I think I'm not an agnostic. I think we can know whether these claims are true or not. I think if a God is real and exists, then that's something that we can know. And I don't think anyone, except for the church and the cult of the Flying Spaghetti Monster, have enough evidence of a God that we can even know if they exist. Everybody else has very, very weak evidence for their God, very circumstantial shit that doesn't even compare to what the Flying Spaghetti Monster has shown us. Maida Fritz says, Mitch, please tell us more about Flying Spaghetti Monster. I like the stories preached. That's very kind of you. I can't, though. 4 minutes I've got left. I've got to wrap it up. I've got to get to the bottom. I will tomorrow. Thank you.
In our notes.
Yeah. What are you writing it down now?
Yeah.
All right. So we'll talk about it tomorrow. Yes, please, says Meridian Heights. Country City says, I'm going to be doing a video on Mitch and his cult coming soon. Less than 10 people on your streams. Not good. Okay, I'm excited to see how many people you've got on your streams, Country City. I'm very excited to see your more than 10 people What an exciting stream that is going to be. The algorithm's going to love yours. And I'll definitely be one of the 10 when you get your stream going. I was looking at your channel the other day, and you've got 10 subscribers. That's really good. I can't even remember when I had only 10 subscribers. So if we are measuring our dicks by the size of our YouTube channel, I'm afraid my dick's much bigger than yours, Country City. Redonk says at Meridian Heights, Gnosticism is about knowledge. Right, that Gnostic idea there means knowledge. And theism is about belief. Right, so you can say you're an agnostic atheist, and you can say you're an agnostic theist. You can say, like, I believe that maybe the Bible is true. I believe it's true, but I think no one can actually know. I think that knowledge is something that is unavailable to us. So I'm an agnostic theist. It's totally possible, yeah. And then Samount Who says, hope your channel keeps growing. Me too, and I think that our tenacity is going to, and how much we're willing to feed the algorithm is going to help us keep growing and growing and growing. If we get to 1,000 subscribers, we're going to get that YouTube money, which I think is going to be $5 a month. We also have that Patreon over there. We've got very kind patrons over there. We're making about $12 a month over there.
Yep.
And so, if we get to $1,000 a month, then I don't have to do any more real world business. Hey, I can just do this for every hour of my free time. I would just come on here and, well, I would arrive at the channel and broadcast, and we could do this all day, every day, except for those moments that I have to give to my family. And your hope is very kind. I also hope it, and I think together it will. I think the jokes are funny enough. I think the character is enjoyable enough to spend some time with. And I think the thing that we're talking about, unfortunately, is still incredibly, incredibly important. As far as, like, why is this Earth going to burn to global warming? I think the real answer is because the religious people think that humans can't change it. Mm-hmm. They think that God's in control, and they're wrong. We are in control.
Yeah.
They need to realize that we have been doing this, and that God is not telling a story, and we are telling this tragic, tragic story. And we can come up with a better ending. The ending I would like for this planet is it just keeps on going and going and going, and people live happily ever after. Mm-hmm. So in the name of truth, in the name of love, in the name of communication, and in the name of Flying Spaghetti Monster, I wish you the best. I wish you very well. I thank you for your kindness, spending your time and your energy here with us today, thinking about the things we're talking about, commenting. What a great group of friends we've found here. And I think that even Country City would agree that we are having a very, very good time.
Is waiting, all systems are go. Are you sure? Control is not convinced, but the computer has the evidence. No need to abort. The countdown starts. Watching in a trance, the crew is certain, nothing left to chance. All is working, trying to relax. Up in the capsule, sent me up a drink. Jokes, Major Tom. The count goes on. 4, 3, 2, 1. Earth below us, drifting, falling, floating, weightless, calling, calling home.
edges cut.